Welcome back to week 2 of our series, which we actually don't really have a name for it, but we're falling. Is it just falling?
Yeah, falling part 2.
It's such a heartwarming name of a series, just falling. Last week we talked about falling prices and really maybe actually those just being a reality of just kind of people overpaying a little bit earlier in the year. But this week we're talking about something that is maybe a little bit more frustrating. We're calling it falling expectations. And here at the Robinson Letter Group, we're fortunate enough to have part of our business be with developers and new construction, and also we sell a lot of homes to folks and work with buyers that buy new construction. And really, this has been happening for quite some time, but it's beginning to become more glaring, and that is that supply chain issues for products that are used in homes, whether they be actual appliances or the building blocks like microchips for electrical panels or lumber, and the prices that we saw shoot up there have caused a lot of headaches for buyers, but also for the builders themselves and it's the realtors in between. And so our expectations of how smoothly a lot of these deals should be going need to be falling if they haven't already.
That's exactly right. And that's up to us as the realtors and professionals to set those expectations. But you're entirely right. And it's a product of COVID-19, which then resulted in these supply chain issues and a labor shortage. And it's kind of across the board. I mean, Grant, you were mentioning you go out to a restaurant nowadays, your expectations have to be a little different because they're running tight on labor. Sometimes restaurants are closing early because they don't have the staff. Yeah. And you're probably not going to get as prompt of service. And that, again, that can, I'm sure it applies to a variety of industries from retail and whatnot, but yeah, definitely in real estate, we're seeing this bottleneck right now at U.S. ports. There's also, there's a huge surge in demand for international products and those shipping containers coming in. But then also, if there's a COVID-19 case, for example, in China, they'll shut down the entire port. So all of a sudden, you have none of those ships heading this direction. When they open back up, they flood in, and we don't have the labor here at the ports to efficiently.
Take all that,
yeah, exactly, handle all that. There's a process for, checking all that inventory, et cetera. So right. Major supply chain shortage. We're having a pretty major issue right now in one of our new developments. It's a townhome complex, and we're waiting for a chip for basically the power unit that provides power to all the units. So even though they're complete, we're waiting on this one component in order to get the power and get them all signed off. And so it's real, it's tangible, and there's just more hiccups in the process. I mean, in the new construction sale agreement, there's a buffer for the builder that basically allows for 30 days past the closing date that's within the contract to account for the unknowns and the things that just happen in new construction. But nowadays we're seeing that sometimes being 60-90 days. I mean, it's applying to appliances and to like you were saying, labor and trusses and just all sorts of things. So yeah, I mean, expectations can't be that the process is going to be smooth 100% of the time, and there's often nobody to point the finger at. It's just kind of we're all in this together, and
right.
It is what it is.
It's starting with the right expectations up front, and it's not only in new construction. We see it even in resales and with appraisers. We've been in this for a little while with appraisers in Central Oregon. I'm not sure if it's that we are low on appraisers. I think I've heard that, but there are several instances where appraisals are coming back, if not a week, maybe a month, late, and especially if you have a house that isn't.
Cookie cutter.
Just cookie cutter. If you have a property that's, location-wise or structure-wise just kind of unique or different, a lot of appraisers don't want to touch that. And so it can sit on a lender's desk waiting to be assigned for much longer than we would typically anticipate it being. So again, just educating both buyers and sellers on expectations and probably having those expectations fall. Not that the product won't get sold or that won't be done or won't be done well, but that the timing of that is much less in everybody's control than it used to be.
Yeah, and it makes it more important to hire, a professional, a realtor, because we know that, you can get things done by being a little annoying and pushing where you know that you can push a little bit to expedite the process. And it helps to have somebody to kind of, be the bad guy to make sure things are going as smoothly as possible and people are remembering to order things in advance, et cetera. And so we do our best to stay on top of that and help the process move as smoothly as possible. But again, yeah, we just have to all have kind of falling expectations right now.
Right now, but this too shall pass, and we're hopeful that that is the case here coming into next year, or certainly by 2023. So
that's right.
Thanks for listening to us on part 2. Hope you're moving your way through fall nicely here, and we'll catch you next week.
See you next time. Hey, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you haven't already, make sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Our handles are shown here on the screen, and you can always find our contact information or more about us on www.buysellbend.com. Thanks.